Hello and welcome to NBA Talk with Jordan Valdez. First things first, let's get to today's matchups. And our first matchup is Paul Pierce versus Manu Ginobili. These are two players that have played with the same team for their entire career, and they're both veterans. Paul Pierce is the starting small forward for the Boston Celtics. He can also play shooting guard. Manu Ginobili, starting shooting guard for the San Antonio Spurs. They were both All-Stars this year. Paul Pierce has definitely had more All-Star selections than Manu Ginobili, who's only had two, mostly because he's been coming off the bench a lot. He earlier in his career he came off the bench and he won the Sixth Man of the Year award for the Spurs. Now they've needed him to start now that Roger Mason Jr. is in New York and Steve Smith is retired. So at this point they really need him starting. He at the beginning of the season he was on fire and he was really a candidate for MVP, but then he kind of slowed down later in the season. He was actually the Spurs' second leading scorer when it looked like he was going to be definitely their first leading scorer. Tony Parker was their first leading scorer with 19.5 points per game, and I think Manu Ginobili averaged 17.8. Um, they're both very, very good players, very good outside shooters. Manu is probably a little bit better at driving, but then again, Paul Pierce can also drive pretty well as well. I'm going to give this matchup to Manu. I think that Manu is a little bit, even though they're both about the same age, Manu was on like as far as their skills right now, still, Manu seems to have um, be sort of younger, even though he was the one that got injured during the right before the playoffs, but he managed to get through most of the season before that without being injury prone. I'm gonna give this matchup to Manu. I think that he's just a little bit. I don't know. I think I think I would rather have him on my team than Paul Pierce. So I think he deserves that matchup. Our next matchup is Jason Terry versus Jamal Crawford. These were two Sixth Man of the Year candidates this year, and neither one of them made it. Jason Terry is a backup point guard, shooting guard, small forward for the Dallas Mavericks. He's very versatile because he can play three positions. Um, he was in the Western Conference semifinals when the Mavericks played the Lakers. He and Peja Stojakovic just went crazy from 3-point range. Jason Terry, he's a very, very good player. Actually, once played with the Hawks, who Jamal Crawford plays with. Jamal Crawford, backup point guard, shooting guard for the Hawks, won the Sixth Man of the Year award in 2010. Um, Lamar Odom actually won it this year. Neither of these two guys won it, but they both had great seasons. Jamal Crawford really had a better 2010 season than his 2011 season, but he really came off the bench even in 2011 to really help the Hawks, really give them a guy coming off the bench that could just score and shoot the ball really well. He has a nice shake and bake move. He really came out in the Orlando series when he hit some clutch shots, including that three-pointer when he crossed up Jameer Nelson and pulled up in his face uh, from uh, from about I'm gonna say 4 feet behind the three-point line. It was a pretty impressive shot. I'm gonna give this matchup to Jamal. I think that Jason Terry really had that three-point show going on, but I think overall during the season, I think Jamal Crawford was better. So I'm gonna give a matchup to Jamal. Okay, now let's talk NBA headlines. All the preseason games have been canceled, which means that they really need to start the regular season on time if they've already canceled all the preseason games. I'm hoping that canceling the preseason games will make the players kind of how do I put this? If you cancel the preseason games, the players actually are going to get scared because a lot of them want to play basketball. That's why they're in the NBA. They didn't just want to be in the NBA because they wanted to make money. But I'm going to say when most of those players picked up basketball as for the first time as a kid, they did it to have fun, and so they're not going to be having any fun if the NBA season is locked out. So I'm hoping that will kind of pressure mostly the players, but also the owners into reaching a deal pretty soon. So yeah, thank you for watching NBA Talk with Jordan Valdez, and I'll see you next time.